we run the company based on numbers and trust. I think that's the thing. I trust my numbers because I trust the people. And when the numbers tell me something's wrong, we bring it up and they have to, justify what happened this week.
Everybody's motivated a little bit differently, and it might be a combination of things. You mentioned sometimes you got to give out raises, but I think that, especially maybe even with the younger generations, just a raise that's not all they want.
Are you empowering your employees to grow? Yes or no? Are you doing so? And then you ask them to grow, right? I'm always asking my employees. I'm lucky that most of my employees have been with me for a very long time, so we got to be doing something right? So, right. Are you giving? Yes, and sometimes you got to give them a raise. And that's part of the function of employment.
There are other parts of life that maybe they want more time off, or they want. Hi everyone, I'm Jason Balara, and this is the Know Your Why podcast. Today I'm here with Rod Santomassimo. Rod's the founder and president of the Massimo Group, the premier coaching organization for commercial real estate professionals. Rod's a serial entrepreneur who's led multiple businesses, from launching a lacrosse recruiting service to inventing patented fitness tracking software. So, Rod, there's a lot more on there. As I mentioned, I like to hear it from your mouth. So I will first say thank you. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to me today. I'm very excited for this conversation, and I appreciate your time.
Well, Jason, I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate you. And how can I help?
Well, let's start by hearing your story. Tell us a bit about your background, what got you to where you are today, and then we'll dive in.
Yeah, serial entrepreneur. I have been. Like most entrepreneurs, I have flip-flop between being an employee and then trying something, getting frustrated, and went back being employee and then trying something, maybe a market shift or something during my 40 plus years of true career work. But when I left college, I was in more than in college, I played lacrosse versus studied. So I had the good fortune to somehow get into Duke University's grad school and get my MBA. And that became the catalyst to the business side of everything I do. Like all dumb MBAs back in the 80s, I went back to New York, where I'm born and raised, and I worked for a consulting firm. I realized really quickly I did not want to be in New York City and live my life that way. Great to go. We just came back, but great to visit, but not great for me and my lifestyle. I got the biggest raise of anyone in my recruiting class when my first year in the job, and I walked in the same day and said, "I appreciate it. I'm out of here. It's just not me." Yeah. And they were shocked. And I went and took a job for $20,000 and commissions as a broker, just because I had an opportunity to do that. I want to try something new. I enjoyed it. I started my own firm, then stayed alive to 95 hit, and we all know what happened then. That firm depreciated rather quickly. Back to another job, back and forth job, real estate job, something else. Ran a law firm, took a telecom firm public. But ultimately in 2008, when I was helping run an international brokerage firm, commercial real estate brokerage firm out in California, where you are, the Great Recession hit. My boss called me in again and said, "Hey, Rob, we're going to have to downsize. Unfortunately, you're someone going to downsize." And I said, thank you, God. Thank you for allowing me not to have this job. And that's how I felt. And so I went to my wife. I was 45 years old then. And I said, I'm never going to work for anyone else in my entire life. No matter what happens, this is it. And by good fortune, I started a company called the Massimo Group. I figured I'd take all my business skills of CFO of a law firm, CEO of a telecom firm, founder of other firms, and said, can I help commercial real estate brokers build businesses instead of doing transactions? And we based it on that. And in 17 years, my first 3 years, of course, like everyone knows, is you're working 80 hours a week, you're working on a 6-foot table, and you're trying to not go broke. But the last 12 years, especially the last 5 years, we have 41 coaches coaching our Massimo methods across clients across the world, mostly in the US, yes, but across the world. And so now I'm done. I know what my calling is. I know my why. I've figured it out. And that is, I'm put in this planet to help people build the business and life they've always desired, particularly in the commercial real estate brokerage sector. That's why I'm here.
Fantastic. Your story is very much a lot of people look at, sort of the job, like the regular job, as the safe the safe route. And it's funny how, I mean, this is probably just in some ways a bias, but it is funny how a lot of people look at entrepreneurship as the risky move and all that. But, you just described, I mean, essentially multiple situations where the job was not the safe story. It was not the safe route. You're at the whim of someone else. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a job, but understanding that it comes with its own risks. And it's just a different set of risks to be an entrepreneur is something that I think that maybe gets missed a lot. It sounds, I mean, you kind of went back and forth between entrepreneur and job. When you were eventually you decided, okay, I'm not going back to job, but how did your mind think about that? Like, oh, I should go back and get a job, or what? Like, as someone who ultimately seemed like very entrepreneurial and ended up wanting to stick in that spot, what was the thought process when you had those kind of shifts back and forth?
Yeah, and so everything was internal. I'll say everyone had to be some type of internal mind shift, mindset, more importantly, where the pressures of either the economy going through a cycle, me not believing in myself, definitely that was the two biggest issues. I blame or pick a reason why I took a job versus trying harder or figuring out a different path. But as you said, when I went down the employment path, beyond the risk factor, it was the pressure. The pressure was immense for me when I was an employee. I mean, immense, and not in regards to the workload. I love to work. The work was easy. It felt like I was being crushed, and that the walls were coming into me as an employee, and I could never grow outside this ever shrinking cube. That's what it felt like. So when the chains were broken and the Great Recession came, it was a whole new landscape for me to realize there's no job. Going to a job, Jason, was not a choice. There were no jobs. That option was taken off the table. Yeah. So I go build something now, Rod. So that's what happened. Yeah.
Do you think that there is, you mentioned that pressure and people talk about the golden handcuffs and all that. Do you think there is a way as an employer to help your high performing employees not feel that way? Like give them potential, because I think probably as an employer, people want, they want that entrepreneurial person that works hard and kind of, goes over and above, but the cost of that to the employee, if they don't feel, I don't know, some sense of fulfillment, can sort of end up exactly like you described, feeling like you're under pressure and you're not happy in that position. How as an employer can people attract that type of talent and foster someone wanting to stay rather than go out and do their own thing? I mean, if you want to go out and do your own thing, please do. Like, I get that, but I'm curious if you have thoughts on that, the way to make that more palatable for someone.
Fancy terms like servant leadership. Okay. Things we hear, but when it comes right down to it, are you empowering your employees to grow? Yes or not? Are you doing so? And then you ask them to grow, right? Where I'm always asking my employees. I'm lucky that most of my employees have been with me for a very long time, so we got to be doing something right? So, right. Are you giving? Yes, and sometimes you got to give them a raise. And that's part of the function of employment. It is, right? But more so for the people we work with, it's the empowerment and the ability to be independent. Now, it does help in my world, because I will tell you, Jason, for 17 years at Massimo Group, my entire company has been a virtual company. Every single meeting, my marketing, I'm in North Carolina. My marketing guy's in Phoenix. My AI guy's in Florida. The head who runs my member success is three hours away. I've never had an office. So it's, in this case, you have to empower people to step up. Yep. They could be playing bingo all day in their home and I not know about it, but it's the results I get. So I think you got to empower them. But yes, you also have to be driven by data. Every decision I make, here's data. So I don't want yes people around me. I want people who are going to, challenge me, debate me. And then I'll always track KPIs every single week. We have company KPIs. So I know we're moving forward. So if people feel that they are trusted, and I do trust all our folks, I do, I wouldn't be here, and that they can be empowered, then you want them to grow. You don't, your company will not grow if your people don't grow. It's just impossible. It is.
Yeah. I think that makes total sense. Fostering that environment of growth is, everybody's motivated a little bit differently, and it might be a combination of things. You mentioned sometimes you got to give out raises, but I think that, especially maybe even with the younger generations, just a raise that's not all they want. There are other parts of life that, maybe they want more time off, or they want more autonomy on their day to day. And I hadn't really thought of it that way, but the remote aspect, which has become so much more prevalent after COVID, especially, so many people work from home now, that remote aspect requires some commitment to that type of, I guess, autonomy amongst employees, and a different way of monitoring. It's not just a matter of like punching a time clock. Plenty of people punch a time clock and don't do a lot during those hours, but especially if they're, across the country, across the world. Sometimes a lot of us have remote international employees. Like you've got to base it on performance in terms of the work being accomplished. So it sounds like, you were doing that well before people were talking about it. If you've been remote the entire time,
We have that's one we grew during COVID. In fact, we've never, knock on wood again, we've never in 17 years we've never made less money on top or bottom line than the year prior in 17 years. So including this year, another record year for us. So, and again, we're completely virtual. I don't use tools like Time Doctor or track our folks' time. I don't. I trust them. But then again, I don't hire people that say, Rod, I want to work, 10, 20 hours a week. And that's not my culture either.
Are you planning a remodel or construction project? Overwhelmed by the process? Over budget? Extended timelines? Strained relationships? We are all too familiar. At Lark Construction Services, we help homeowners and business owners take control of their construction journey, from reviewing bids and contracts to catching red flags before they become costly mistakes. Our Clarity Audit is a one-on-one expert review of your plans, estimates, or current progress, giving you the peace of mind and a defined action plan to move forward with confidence. Don't let confusion lead to costly errors. Visit larkconstruction.com and schedule your free call today. Lark Construction Services, saving you time, money, and stress.
I'm a strong believer in performance-based compensation. It can come in certain performances are more easily measured than others. Yes. So it's not always, I don't know that it's easy to implement everywhere, but how do you look at that? How do you look, you're saying you trust your employees, you don't use the screen monitor tracker things, which I think are kind of silly anyway, but what sort of metrics do you look at? And I imagine it's going to vary on different.
Yeah, every single, and look, we have 40 something coaches. We have we have 5 individual directors, channel managers, client success, marketing, sales, finance, all of them. And they all report to me every week and we all see them. Everyone sees them. It's transparent to everybody on our KPI sheets, which is a Google Doc. We just use simple Google Docs to track our KPIs, and we report back every week. Here's why it's going in the direction it's going. We have monthly meetings, and every month we sit down and look at the month ahead. So we run the company based on numbers and trust. I think that's the thing. I trust my numbers because I trust the people, and when the numbers tell me something's wrong, we bring it up and they have to, justify what happened this week, right? Because I've learned this. I get coached. I'm a coach, but I get coached by. I've always gotten coached. I think it's one of the things I've learned that helped me a great deal, is that my coaches have always shared me, track the numbers, because that's how we do things.
Yeah. The ability to, the transparency, I guess, is what I want to ask about. The transparency uh, and yeah, a Google Doc is equally as effective as some of the very expensive softwares that are out there.
Yeah,
But
we have those, but Google
yeah,
Doc works.
it's like you get the expensive ones, and then you're like, you know what, this Google Doc works really well. But the the transparency there is, I mean, obviously you believe in it. What if you didn't? I mean, from a do you think it matters whether it's a remote based company or everybody's, you know, in office together? Would you say, would you operate with the same level of transparency? I mean, talk a little bit about why you think that works.
Well, I think we would definitely operate with the same level of transparency. But Jason, I'll also tell you, I think this company, and this is not going to be a popular opinion, I think this company would be double its size and revenue if we were in a physical office. I truly do. If we could, you know, have those hallway conversations, have those meetings when I need to, not rely on a Slack response or a chat response and get back to you when they can, we would be double the size. But I'm okay with not being double the size. Yeah. I love working out of my house. Again, I don't want to be crushed by the cube of an office, right? Like we talked about. So I think that transparency has to exist on every level. Look, in a big organization, probably not. But you know, we're just sub 10 million. We're again sub 50 people. We're not big, but we're all very happy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great point in the sense that, you know, there's a lot of talk of scaling and, you know, making businesses as large as you possibly can, but there are other sacrifices that come with that. It sounds like in your instance, that might be just the ability to work remotely or happiness in the workplace. There's different.
Well, we talked about this before the show, right? You made a purposeful decision on your career based on your lifestyle desires. You did, and It's worked out great. People said, Rod, when are you going to sell Massimo? You get to another point, you get an extra multiple. You walk, you know, with a significant amount of money. And I think, no, this is my life. This is not what I want to do. I don't have to do it. I'm not pressured in any way, shape, or form to position this company for an exit. There's no thought of that at all, because it's a lifestyle now. It's like you. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. There's certainly something to be said for making some of those lifestyle type decisions. You started the business right after 2008. That was
great time to start a business, by the way.
Right. Apparently, because there were no job options, but the growth, you said, you know, consistent growth every year, which, I mean, is impressive in and of itself, but also the fact that we have had a pretty substantial decrease in the transaction volume in the commercial real estate space since, say, call it mid to late 2022. How do you? I think that speaks volumes of maybe the company you've created and the culture and the business model. What has been your, I guess, view and some of your takes on what has happened over the last few years? We had some pretty substantial black swan events that, you know, made markets shift greatly that you had to transition through. Tell us a little bit about that time for you and your company.
Well, I think some things that have happened. We look, even though the market velocity, without doubt, has trended downwards, and we're looking at an uptick in 26. You know, again, our client numbers have increased. That's because our results continue to get stronger and stronger with our clients, and that branding and that word and that promotion drives more clients, and therefore, although the market may be trending down, our volume goes up because our clients are getting, and frankly, our fees are getting significantly higher. Our fees, I think, are double they were in the last 5 years. So that helps the revenue grow, without a doubt. But the other major thing that I did, and purposely, and I don't know, I lucked out. I absolutely lucked out. In November, you know, let's take 3 years ago from last month, or 3 years ago last month. What happened 3 years ago last month? Do you remember?
I mean, we're in 2020. I mean, that was a bad time from interest rates. An interest rate.
The introduction of ChatGPT. That happened 3 years ago this month. Okay. And so on that month that it happened, I got a call from someone that I worked with prior for a short period of time. And he said, Rod, can I get you on a Zoom call for 5 minutes? And I said, sure, 5 minutes. And he introduced me to ChatGPT. And Jason, I don't know why. It's not a boastful thing. It's just, it is what it is. I looked at him and said, okay, he's now my director of innovation. I looked at him and I said, this changes everything about what I do, how I do it, and how everyone does everything going forward. I don't know why it hit me. I just knew it. And I've studied AI every day since that day, even this morning, for an hour a day, every day. And that has allowed us to catapult. First of all, we don't have any competition. I hate to say that. All our competition is a single guy or girl who coaches. I run a huge coaching organization compared to anything else. So I don't think about our competition, but no one looks at us and goes, yeah, I can talk to one of your competitors. Nobody, because we're so far ahead on the AI side, how we're implementing AI. Right now, Jason, without getting too technical, you'll understand this on the real estate side, our clients can go to an owner of a real estate property and say, I want a 1 month listing, exclusive listing agreement. Not 6 months, not 12 months, 1 month. So Jason, would you rather work with a broker who could do everything they need to in 1 month or needs 12 months? Which one would it be, Jason?
Yeah, for sure. The 1 month. I mean,
right.
The speed.
Because AI you can do that. So I think our adoption and then our leveraging and teaching of AI to our clients has led to our, not only our stability, but our growth. And whatever you all doing who's listening to this, if you're not integrating AI into everyday practice of what you do, you will be left behind. It's not a maybe, it's a guarantee. You will be. So that's a big change we had made as well in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I'm sure I have not adopted it to the level that you have, but the more time I spend with it, the more things I try to do with it, the more impressed I am by the results and how effective it can really be. I mean, and it's like there's so many people. A lot of people use it to write copy for their social media posts, things like
Absolutely.
that. Newsletters, totally fine. But like, there's so much more to it, and I would encourage people. I mean, ChatGPT is free for now, at least. You can just go play with it. Like, ask it a few questions. If you can get good at prompting, you can get some extremely valuable data. And as you mentioned, it can directly impact your business results just with speed. Just with speed.
And if you're a business owner, Google LLM Notebook is from everything it does. Sure, writing, copy, analyzing your numbers, creating infographics in a minute. I mean, it's just and that's free, by the way. That's free.
Right.
Let's not forget this. It's like the price of Twitter or X. Excuse me. It's free.
Right.
So you have to understand what's available to you. Jay, give you a quick example. So Jason, this weekend, unfortunately, my wife is dealing with COVID. We talked about COVID. So she's dealing with COVID this weekend. Kids aren't home, so I'm by myself. So on this weekend, I created all the infographics for 2026 for all our programs. I analyzed the last 5 years of our business on price points, and using AI, structured a new pricing program that will enhance client retention and lifetime value, right, in my bottom line. I couldn't do that on my own. AI helped me do that. Yep. And then last but not least, I wrote the basic frameworks for our new sales and marketing processes that I'll share with the team this afternoon. AI.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little scary in how good it is, but it is, you said it. I don't think we have a choice. Like, as a business owner, it needs to be a part of the business. Like, there's in some businesses more than others, but certainly it needs to be a part of it. And if you don't, I think what we're going to see is like a separation. We talk a lot about the wealth gap, and I think that the wealth gap's growing. It's going to probably become the same from a business perspective as like the people that kind of stay old school, analog. You know what I mean? They're not integrating AI into their business. It's going to start to separate because you just won't be able to keep up without it. Like, it won't be. And I think that the people talk about it taking away jobs. I think it will, but I think that being able to gain expertise in the use of AI is probably where the next opportunity comes. And like, it's here, AI is here, figuring out how to implement it and being efficient at that and I think is probably a good opportunity for people that want to be technologically savvy. I completely agree with you. It is it's not, I don't even know that it's the wave of the future, because it's already here and has been here for a little while. Even before before ChatGPT came out, we weren't really talking about it, but people had Siri on their iPhone and Alexa in their house and all of these things that are similarly based and just going to get stronger from a technology standpoint. What do you think, you mentioned AI. Where do you see this, the commercial real estate market going? You mentioned you expected an uptick in transaction volume in 2026. What is your, if you had a crystal ball, what do you think's we're looking at here in the future?
Yeah, obviously data centers are the big discussion point right now. I just read that we're closing down 5 windmills on the East Coast this morning. So a lot of things going right now on the real estate side from that sort. Every market is different, Jason. Like our clients in New York have significant barriers right now to deal with, both politically and legislatively. They do. Mm-hmm. The landscape for getting all those assets converted to housing is going to be a major thing, right? Most of them can't even qualify for conversion. Folks in Texas are dealing with other issues from an energy standpoint. So for someone to say, this is what I expect, I don't think you can. Real estate has been and always will be a local market. It just will be, right? Unless you're triple net lease and dealing with cap rates, that's totally different, right? And interest rates going down, and they'll continue to go down, will help in those endeavors. They will. But real estate is a local market decision. It is. Everything is different.
Yeah. That's a great point. It is, we have, and it's a local market decision, and that even depends on the asset class. We say real estate as this
yes.
overarching theme, but it's like, well, okay, are we talking about, office or multifamily or, data centers? Like there's just so much to it. And so, dialing in on whatever your niche might be is probably a very, very smart move. Well, Rod, let me switch gears here. I want to ask you the question that I ask every guest, and I alluded to it before we started recording, but the name of the show is Know Your Why, and so I'd love to ask you, what is your why? What you've had a ton of success, continued success, growth every year, but you also mentioned it. In a way, it's a lifestyle business. You like to work from home. What is your why? What's your motivation?
Well, I have you're in a big screen across the wall from me, and I have on my credenza this big blue box with our white logo, and in that credenza is a collection of handwritten notes, cards, thank yous, letters from people I've never met but have worked within our company framework, and we help them change their lives. And I think so from an obvious standpoint, the why would have to be that I want to be in a position to help people. I think it was Adam Grant. Adam Grant? Adam Grant from the University of Pennsylvania. Beautiful podcast. He says he measures success by how much you can make people successful. And that's how I measure my success. How many people have I made $1 million producers or build a new house? So I think we call it the gratitude box. From that standpoint, then Jason, be my why, impacting people. But let's face it, then you got to go, if you're going to say that, then you got to go to the internal side and go, well, why do I want that? Because I want to be liked. I have a need to be respected. I'm sure all those are true for everyone, I hope. But some people want to be liked more than others. That's a fact. We do one thing we do, Jason, we do natural behavior tests on all our assessments, not tests, wrong word, excuse me, assessments on all our clients, understand they're driving internal forces. So yeah, mine shows that I want to be liked. I do. So I guess, Jason, in a weird way, that's my why.
Yeah. Well, I think that in general, that it's probably hard to be a business owner if you don't want to be liked. In a sense, like you do need to. You need relationships with someone, and I don't think you want, and I don't think you're.
Well, there's liked and there's respected, right? Was Steve Jobs liked?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like it.
He was liked by his shareholders, probably.
Yeah, he was liked by his shareholders.
It was he wasn't always favored amongst the people close to him. So if you're looking at this from a likability standpoint, and I think that's probably simplifying it in terms of what
Sure.
we really want out of it. But how does that can you measure that? Like, I guess you've got the gratitude box, but it's an interesting.
Sure. You can measure a lot of. We do surveys with our clients when they exit or when they have a coaching call, right? We have our coaches get surveyed, so we're always getting feedback on are they having an enjoyable, satisfying, and valuable experience, right? And so that to me that'd be the like element, right? Yeah. It would be. Do I have haters on social media? Of course I do, but I don't care.
Yeah.
So that's not how I measure it. I don't measure it by followers or comments. That's not how I measure it. I know those that do. No, did we change our clients' lives? Were they appreciative of what we try to do? And it seems like so far we're doing okay.
Yeah, great. Yeah, no, I and you described that much better than I probably even framed it. So thank you for that. Well, Rod, this was great. This was a great conversation. I really appreciate your time today and everything that you shared. When people want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, Massimo, Massimo -group.com. I've got several best-selling books. I've got my own website, but go to Massimo-group.com, and we'd love to understand your why, and if it's to build your commercial real estate brokerage business, we can help.
Perfect. We'll definitely get that in the show notes so people can find you. Again, thank you for being on the show today. Thanks for taking the time. Super enjoyable conversation. I really had a great time. So thanks for being here.
Jason, thank you so much.
Folks listening, make sure you connect with Rod. Please like, rate, and review the show so we continue to get great guests. And as always, thank you all so much for listening.
Hey there, I am Dr. Jason Balara, and this is the Know Your Why podcast, where we explore the why behind success. Every week, I meet with real estate investors, veterinary entrepreneurs, mindset coaches, authors, and fitness professionals to uncover their why and how it drives them on the winding road to success. What is your why?